Hey guys, hope everyone's well. This is part two of my video for my plans for today or the future. Um, I promise I'm not a stoner or anything like that. I don't smoke or drink or take drugs or anything like that. I know my thumbnail probably makes me look like a stoner or something like that. For some reason, I was like looked like I was closing my eyes or something. But in some of my pictures. But I'd love to know what you think about the thumbnail, as well as my videos and all that. Uh, Anywho, I'm probably going to try and. I think I did quite well the last one with in terms of not making it, hopefully, not making it too long because it was only about under 10 minutes long. So I think that was not a bad target because I generally try and get these videos to about 7 minutes each because otherwise people might get bored. So I'll try and make it as interesting as possible as ever. So I do my best. I like to be cooler, but or have a better voice and things like that. But I'll do my best to entertain the viewers and all that sort of thing. But anyway, onto the list. Number 11. I was thinking. I've thought of this idea for quite a while, but wouldn't it be quite interesting if there was the end of the printing press? I call it the practically or virtually paperless office, as in books, magazines, newspapers, and all sorts of things would be online instead of printed, which would arguably be better for the environment. But I think that's probably, well, I suppose that's the only environment you could really have other than, well, I suppose it could be cheaper as well. Like I'd love to have a website made by people from Asia, Africa, and places like that, what I call the four, which I've talked about before, where they work together on making this website. And to be honest, I was wondering whether I wasn't sure whether to include that plan because I was thinking people who are a bit more racist or don't like people from basically don't like people from Asia or Africa or places like that might not wish to buy books from this website if they knew that those are the people who make this website. So but the idea I have is like that any book that's legal in any country would be able to print it, even if it's something I don't agree with, even if it is prejudice or whatever, that it would still, I say we, this person who came up with the idea would still print it. I don't want to get any money from it. I want that money to all go towards what I call the four, but also the authors. If you'd like to know more about that idea, please let me know in the comments below, and I'll probably do a video covering that, or at least reply to any questions or anything like that if you have any general questions as well. But yeah, going back to like the paperless office, like books, magazines, newspapers, and all that being online, be environmental, and also it'll probably be a bit cheaper. And another controversial idea, if you can call it that way, I say that if people spent less money buying, I know they're not really expensive, but if people didn't buy newspapers or magazines or things like that, or they just got them online, I didn't want to offend like newspaper makers or whatever. But if you, or people who make magazines or whatever, and I'm sure there's some good ones out there. But if people watched it online, they could still make money through advertising. But as well as saving paper and being more environmental, it could also mean that I was just thinking I might fail in keeping this under 10 minutes because I'm going into a bit of detail on this idea. But they could save that money. I know it's not a huge amount of money, but they could save that money and give it to groups that support, like say, disabled business people or disabled projects that support disabled people instead, things like that. So it could empower people with disabilities and make them more independent and things like that. As ever, I'd love to know what you think about the idea, or am I making sense or whatever. But yeah, so I love those things, anything that's online to stay online and be sent as attachments or things like that. And I know people might say, like, when you turn a page in a book or when you have the paper or whatever, it feels different to how it is online. So some people prefer that, but in a way, you could have something which makes you feel like you turn the page, or something that makes it the user really enjoy reading those online instead. And another thing I was going to say, I nearly forgot, but I'm a bit hypocritical in this way because I keep so many papers and hoard them and things like that, and have this hoarding problem. But I was thinking, like, maybe to make up for that problem, because like I used to print things and sometimes print quite a lot of things But now I try to avoid print. Oh, I never really print anything. I normally send it via attachments through email or whatever. And in fact, if someone asks me to print something, I'd try and say, can I just send it by attachment instead to save paper? So I'm being a bit contradictory or hypocritical in a way, but I think like private notes, not necessarily that they're illegal or seedy or anything like that, but they might be notes that for whatever reason you don't want other people to know about. They might be personal information or like a secret idea or something like that. They could be on paper, like notebooks or post-it notes or whatever. But in terms of books or magazines or things like that, or things that you need to send someone, they could be sent by attachment. So I love to promote that idea of the paperless office. And one more thing I was going to say on that point is technology companies. I think maybe I'm being naive. I was going to ask if you think I'm being naive on this one, but technology companies could be interested in this because it could make people stay online longer because they're getting their information online or things, or sending information online rather than actually printing it. So I hope that makes sense. I'd love to know what you think about that. I did go into that in some detail, so I'm probably going to make this video a bit longer than planned. But anyway, 12. Once again, I hope to. I know I go through these numbers, and I hope to go through these patterns I have. But 12 I use for a motivation number. So I hope, like for people from Asian backgrounds or people with dyslexia, can help each other with like workouts or fitness and things like that, but also sharing information and having mentors, as talked about before, like Benjamin Zephaniah and people like that, Lederick and Philip Schultz, or how to pronounce his name, or other poets and writers and artists and things like going to Asia and mentoring, especially dyslexic people or people from slums or orphanages, to help them to have the confidence to become writers and things like that. 13. I hope to hear from as many scary stories or creepypastas or urban legends as possible from Asia, and I've watched quite a few on YouTube, but so I hope to hear as many as I can of those. And for some strange reason, I'd like to write, as well as writing some of the positive things, I'd like to write some things like confessions or things I'm more ashamed of or things like that. Initially, I might only share them with like people like my stepdad, dare I say, but then like get his advice about who I should share that information with or whatever. I think that covers 13. And 14, I hoped, as I say, for people from Asia to write and express how to solve problems. Like, for instance, as I talked before about people with dyslexia, talking about how we can build Pan-Asianism. Like Asians with dyslexia, talking about how they can build a Pan-Asian network for things like dyslexic groups, and how like countries like India and Pakistan, again, I might be being naive or idealistic with this one, but like dyslexics from India and Pakistan working together and looking at how they can unite the countries and end some of the divisions and rivalries and help them to work together more closely. 15, again, I hope to hear from Asian aspirations and how, like, Asians who wish to become writers and how to help them to become writers and that sort of thing, and express themselves and improve their confidence and things like that, and work towards their goals. And again, having mentors to teach them how to set goals higher and believe in themselves and things like that. 16, once again, I hope to go through like my patterns, habits, some of the habits I have about ways to do things and things like that. 17, hope to write my own stories and imaginations, and possibly, I've just remembered now as well, like talking about stories about imaginative stories. I'd maybe even go through them in YouTube as well as my writing. Like, instead of doing lists, like do stories and all that, talk about for my imagination and things like and dyslexic strengths like imagination and that sort of thing. 18, I hope for Asians to write positive things about and express things that they feel positive about their own life and about their own country, and things about Asia, each other's countries and things like that. Like people from India and China writing up about what they love about each other's countries as well as their own country and things like that, or what they can learn from each other as well. 19, I hope in the future I'll be more organized to be able to plan and hopefully continue to improve my videos, and hopefully people out there will enjoy them. and hopefully I'll take on board any suggestions or questions or advice or things like that as best as possible. And 20, as I said before, unfortunately there's only 24 hours in a day, so I hope to make the most use of each day. But whatever I don't do on one day, I might do on another day. So again, I hope I haven't repeated too many ideas what I covered before, and I hope I'll come up with new ideas or ways to be as entertaining as possible and inspire people, and hopefully be inspired by other people and network with people, especially those who have an interest in Asia, Asian empowerment, Asian culture and history and all sorts of things like that. I think that covers everything. Love to know what you think, and please share and like this video and subscribe if you haven't done so, and hope I can get as many subscribers as possible, of course. Peace and love.